Hello Wolfers! Today we're talking about a topic that is so very important and yet is not really talked about very much. That is the fulfillment cost. But what is fulfillment cost? What do we mean by fulfillment cost? Well, obviously, is effectively what is underlying the real cost of shipping an order, or even more granularly, shipping a single unit of product. So basically, what we're talking about here is cost to serve, and particularly a cost to serve model. Now, building up a cost to serve model is very, very important because I've seen so many times companies that rush into making their sales and fulfilling their sales without necessarily realizing whether their sales are actually having a good margin, good profitability, or even if they have any profitability at all. And sometimes they realize they're actually selling at loss when it's already too late. Why is that? Because there are so many complex elements that make this old model and this old concept of fulfillment cost so very complicated. Now, let's try to be very honest. Building up a proper, fully functional and effective cost to serve model is no easy feat. So today we're going to talk about this model at a very, very high level, just defining really what are the macro elements. And particularly, the first thing to do to build up a proper cost to serve model is defining what are the cost drivers. And by cost drivers, you might think of things such as handling costs, packaging costs, or even last mile delivery cost. And obviously, when we talk about these things, you need to understand that there is a varying degree of complexity. If you think about last mile delivery cost, it's pretty obvious that shipping to consumers directly is not equal to shipping to wholesalers. The underlying costs are very different. So separating by channel is very important, and also separating by product type is clearly shipping and handling a small product doesn't necessarily equal cost-wise to shipping a bulky and handling a bulky product. Therefore, defining a high level of granularity in your cost to serve model will ensure that you have a model indeed that is fully functional and truly reflecting what is going on. Now, one thing is to define a model, and the other thing is using a model. So once you have identified what your cost to serve is, you need to reflect this cost to serve model implications into your planning and logistics planning. Therefore, you might want to use those insights to flag low profitability, low margin items, by example, and this might drive your sales colleagues or marketing colleagues to take slightly different decisions when it comes to promotion and marketing campaigns. The other thing you might want to do is to use a cost-based reorder logic. So based on the cost to serve model outcomes, you can decide what to replenish first. And last but not the least, you might want to also use the insights coming from the cost to serve model to define and adjust the incentives that you provide to your partners, external partners. Imagine, for example, logistics partners. Obviously, having this kind of insights allow you to understand first where there is space to provide bigger incentives, and also which item you want to be dealt with in a certain. As I mentioned at the beginning, cost to serve model is something that is complicated, really not super easy to build, but so useful that it's worth really looking into that. Therefore, knowing that this video is definitely not going to be enough to get started on your journey, but hopefully will spark some ideas, we have put together a freebie that is free for you to download. It's actually available in the link in the description of this video, and it's a cost to serve model template. So, quite detailed, and obviously something that hopefully you'll find useful to get started on your cost to serve journey. So I hope this video was helpful and enjoyable. If so, please leave a like or a comment, share with your colleagues and partners, subscribe to the channel, and we really look forward to talking to you all next week.